Hello.
Hi there.
How's it going? We wanted to do a little bit of a live update, what we're up to and what our plans are. So recently we've just been, him? This little guy?
Oh, this guy?
This is Higgins. If you've ever watched Magnum PI, you'll know who Higgins is. But that's Higgins. And
This
we
is
are doing
Higgins.
some dog sitting right now and house sitting. And
Yeah.
so that's one thing that we're doing right now is we're figuring out what's next. But in the meantime, to have a base of operations would be really good. We've been staying with family and doing some dog sitting and
Yes.
house sitting. But if anyone has a place or knows of anything in the Southwest, I mean, we're in
Yeah.
Tucson right now, and that's where a lot of family is and a
Yeah.
lot of resources for us to work on vehicles and whatever. But anywhere in the Southwest, please let us know if you have a place you'd like to rent.
We are on the hunt.
We're on the hunt. Short term, a few months or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that at most, I think.
Yeah, or if you need your house sat or your pets watched,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
happy to
She's a great trainer.
do that.
Higgins is learning lots. So that's one thing we've been up to.
Yep.
The other thing is we've been hunting for a vehicle. So it's really tough. And the reason we haven't done this is the vehicle we're hunting for is we're open to a lot of different things. One of the ones that is high in the running for a short-term vehicle, not short-term in the sense that we wouldn't own it a long time,
Yeah.
but short-term meaning it would be more for the U.S., Mexico, Canada, that kind of a thing, would be a 200 series Land Cruiser. So kind of the inverse of everything we've had. It's modern, you can do highway speeds, it's a gas guzzler,
Yeah.
but I'm not having to rebuild things, pull axles. I mean, you never know. Things can happen, but I'm looking forward to having something that we can just work and do the trail mapping work that we do, the training work that we do, etc. would all work really well on a 200. Might be a little big for some stuff,
Yeah.
but we can always do dirt bikes as well, like we've done in the past for that. So we're looking for a 200, and people were asking if I could share what we look for in a truck. And for me, the number one thing is rust. And I don't mean, like, if you're from the rust belt, what you might consider no rust is not what I would consider no rust. So growing up in Southern California, now living in Arizona, pretty much the second half of my life, if there's even a little bit of visual rust, like on the head of a bolt, right? Or if I see the bottom's been treated in any way, I'm out, because I know it's been in an area where it needed to be treated.
Yeah.
And if there's even a little bit of rust on the head of a bolt, I can live with that, but it's almost like Loctite. When I work on vehicles over the years with friends of mine who have a vehicle that spent 1 year in Ohio or somewhere like that, it's so dramatic, the difference in work on our two vehicles. They get a torch out to remove nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
And I just, it comes off like it should pretty easily.
Yep.
The little bit of rust I'm okay with, like literally where you see a little bit on the head of a bolt, nothing structural, nothing even deep into the frame or anything like that. But if it's literally just, okay, this has been near the ocean, let's say, like the coast of Texas shouldn't be too bad unless you're literally on the coast. Coast of California shouldn't be too bad unless
Yep.
you're like literally at the beach. Then it can get pretty bad. So we're looking for as little rust as possible. Less owners the better usually, but
Yeah.
I've seen both. I've seen great trucks that have had 5 owners, and then I've seen pieces of junk that had 1 owner. So
yeah. So we've done some road trips to look at a few, but
yeah.
none of them have
We've been
quite hit
really
the mark.
frustrated
Yeah.
so far, but I know
Yeah.
we'll find something. But the first one we did, everything was perfect on paper. Lifelong California vehicle.
One
so
owner.
Central Southern California, its whole life, 1 owner. It looked, paint looked perfect.
Yeah.
Disclosed that there was somebody keyed on the paint, which
Yeah.
again, we're going to pinstripe anything we're going to
that
own,
was
so
fine
that's
with us.
fine. And then that was it. And then we went to go look
He
at
did
it.
say there was a tear, so he sent us a picture.
Tear in the
and
driver's
we
seat.
were like, okay, that's not a big
And
deal.
then we got there, and it was just tough. It was like radiator coolant. The overflow tank was empty, so the reserve or whatever, it was completely empty. The radiator was down like an inch. There was wetness on the bottom of the truck. He said he had just washed it. The entire tan interior leather was all disgusting.
I've never seen such a dirty car, actually. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how you could make it that dirty. Like, the seatbelts were disgusting. Like, every
Yeah,
inch of that
yeah.
car was just, like, touched with grimy
And I know we had a lot of
hands.
kids and stuff, so
Yeah.
but even the leather was like mushed, like a chemical had been
chemical
on
had
it,
gotten
and
on
then
it,
it had
yeah.
actually changed the surface of it. Really weird. Almost like it had liquefied the leather, and then it had years later hardened up or something. Buttons were scratched off down to the white plastic underneath, and we've looked at a lot of these 200s now.
Yeah, the
and I've
wood
never seen
grain
that.
can
The wood
scratch
grain
off pretty
scratches
easy,
off.
but the buttons not
So it's
much.
just tough. And then crawling underneath, he'd been near the ocean, so it had that little bit of tiny bit of rust on the bolts. And I was like, man, this is too many unexpected things to move forward with. So we told him a price, And he subsequently had reached out to us now wanting to give us that price, but it's like we blew
already
2 days of our
spent so much
time.
money getting out there.
You know, yeah, it was like $500 road trip to drive all the way out and check out this car. We came with cash, ready to buy it, and the seller still had all this personal stuff, his wife's stuff in there, and it was like, and you're going to a doctor's appointment? Like, when would we buy this, even if we do come to a deal? And so we just realized somebody was not ready to sell and was not taking the sale seriously. So we've run into 2 situations like that. So we're still hunting, but that's sort of what I look for in that particular truck.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, there's the standard, oh, I've had all the maintenance done. That's better than the person who literally doesn't do maintenance. Most people don't do all the maintenance. They fix things when they literally break, right? And then there's the person that does what's in the book. Toyota, Ford, whatever, they have the maintenance schedule. They at least stick to that. Then one step further is the enthusiast that like figures out what might go wrong and does it preemptively.
Yeah.
Or says, you know, Toyota says it's lifelong fluid in the transmission, but I went ahead and had the dealer flush it, put new fluid in. It cost me $400 because it was 15 years old at this point or something. So that's even one step better. And then the next step is like me, but I'm not going to pay for that truck from that guy because he's going to want a lot. And so that's somebody who is like, yep, I replaced the wheel bearings and the tie rod ends and the da-da-da all preemptively because I was going to go remote. So that's kind of the levels, I think, of how people maintain vehicles. So we're looking for somewhere in the middle, at least the Toyota book, you know, that level. But we're also been looking at vans. We've been looking at all kinds of different things.
Yeah, and not like built out vans, like a van life thing. It's more that we've also been looking at dirt bikes or some type of
street
motorcycle.
legal dirt bikes.
And it would be cool to have something that we could just throw dirt bikes, mountain bikes in the back of and sleep in the back of, but not build it out. But vans are just so expensive right now. It's crazy. So
even
that
just
might
like
not be an option.
the Amazon style delivery vans, all brands too, you know, from Fiat, which, you know, let's see, Fiat, which is Dodge here, or I don't know which.
Some I think it's the Ram,
one. Then there's the Sprinters, and there's the Ford Transits, and the Nissans, and they're all crazy prices for a basically hollow metal shell. But if we did that, we could carry dirt bikes, we could work on dirt bikes, and we could have great adventures on dirt bikes. So we're tempted, but I think in the end, right now we're leaning towards.
We kind of want something that can either, you know, put dirt bikes on the back of, and then we can move the dirt bike with the truck, but also the truck can be a source of getting places, which with a van, it's pretty much stuck to roads and dirt roads. So we like the idea of being able to go a little bit further in whatever vehicle we get.
Yeah. And there are capable vans, but then you're talking
way more
150
money,
grand, and that defeats the purpose. I'd much rather have the Maltec we had, and we don't want to go back that route. So we're trying to figure out our sort of at home for
relatively inexpensive
6 months or a year, or however long this period is, vehicle. And so that's what we're looking at. And then if we really like it, we'll put it into storage and actually keep it. But so we've been doing that. On Tonto, he hasn't really needed any maintenance, our FJ40, so we haven't done anything really.
We've been kind of lazy with that.
Yeah, he's just worked so well. We run errands in him every single day. We go take him to go mountain biking. I just don't think he's up for mapping. The mapping is so intense, 12 hours a day, and then we'd have to literally set up a backpacking tent every night of the week.
Yeah, and that's the other reason for wanting four-wheel drive vehicle, because then it would allow us to make some money, which we also need to do somehow. So we've been looking for work that way as well.
And then adventures, you guys know, if you know us, that Baja's on the list, obviously. So there'll be plenty of Baja time. And it could be on dirt bikes, it could be in 4x4s, it could be on boats. And so there's a lot of cool stuff coming there. And then the next big adventure, we've said more on Patreon, but we are looking at some big international adventures. It's just which one, and which one financially, which one makes sense the most timing-wise, because some countries are, same reason we sort of turn around, besides the issues with our house back here in the States, certain parts of the world are just more difficult at the moment to travel. So we don't want to go to the most difficult one at the worst time. I'd rather go to one that's pretty good right now.
Yeah.
And so, and cost-wise too, you know, the dollar to certain currencies around the world is pretty advantageous, so that could save us money. So we're looking at all that, trying to figure out what the next big adventure is, and looking at smaller ones too, you know, a few months here or there to go and do an intense adventure. And then the benefit of a few-month journey is it can be way less comfortable.
Yep.
I don't mind, and Kelsey doesn't mind sleeping in the rain under a tarp, you know, next to a scooter or a motorcycle, if you know it's a gnarly adventure you're doing for a while, and then it'll end.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
definitely
a lot different than when you're looking at it as life.
on my bucket list is doing a motorcycle based trip, which
Yeah.
I've never done, and I think that would be pretty awesome. And I think Baja would be really cool too. There's no better place to rough it than Baja.
Absolutely.
And
Great food, great people, great
yeah,
weather usually.
great weather, yeah. So
But yeah, no, I think that's one of those things that we did miss. You know, before we left, Kelsey had got into mountain bikes, and I had raced a lot and ridden a lot, and so it's fun to do that again. And then she had started to get into dirt bikes, and that's something I've done for a really long time. I made my living riding dirt bikes for a while for this company back a long time ago, and so I just love being on dirt bikes. And then she loved the independence too, because I'm in control of mine, she's in control of hers, and she's got that ownership to hers too, to maintain it, and I can help, but it's kind of nice to have our own things to sort of, you know, if you want to go and wheelie off of something and do a jump, you can do that, but the other person doesn't have to. So it's kind of a nice choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what we've been up to.
Yeah.
I'll show you a couple screenshots of some of the styles of trucks we're looking at.
I think Mr. Higgins might have to go to the bathroom, so we're going to take a quick break.
Okay. Pausing for bathroom break.
Mr.
No
Higgy.
peeing here. You're not allowed to be on the ground here, buddy.
Higgy man. Okay, sorry, we're back. Higgins does not have all his shots yet, and they are, we just moved a mouse. We moved a mouse from
Mises?
this little fire pit, so I didn't want to
I had to
have
get
him
the Red
walking
Ryder
around
BB
down
gun
here.
out, and sadly had to end the mouse.
I got you doing it.
Mice.
The Mises.
But yeah, he was living out here, so we can't set him down anywhere until he has all the shots,
Yeah.
except inside. So it's
He's
time
only
for him to
about
take a little
9
break.
weeks old, but
Yeah, he's a cavapoo.
He's a
For those of
baby.
you who are about to type that below,
yes.
yeah, he's adorable.
He's very
and
cute.
really smart and not scared of anything. Like,
No, he's pretty brave.
yeah, any noises, vacuuming, he just looks at you like, "What are you doing?" But no fear, it seems like.
Yeah.
So.
So we have done some patron updates, so patrons already know this news, but we have sold our house, so that is no longer a source of stress for us, and we officially
much-
have no home.
Yeah, we pretty much have an FJ40 and two nice mountain bikes, and
Yeah.
that's it in the whole world. So it's disconcerting to not have any
hence
home.
why we're looking for a place to rent
Yeah,
for a
hence
little
just
bit.
for a little bit of a base camp. We're looking at all sorts of options, and we have no interest right now in van lifing in the U.S.
No.
But we're looking at everything from little motorhomes that you could put on a piece of land, just something to have a base camp to then do the adventures and work from. Work on motorcycles if we get some, and that sort of a thing. So that's kind of where we're at the moment.
Yeah, something
And-
short term for here until we are not here anymore.
Yep, exactly. So all that, we're also looking into learning how to sail as well. It's just something
Yep.
we've wanted to learn for a really long time. And I did a little bit of it as a kid in Southern California, going over to Catalina and back. But my parents had a powerboat, so we mostly did that. But you know, occasionally you'd hop on a friend's sailboat and sail it back to the coast. And so I really would say it's just 0.1 above zero is my experience level with actually sailing.
And mine is 0.
And then little dinghies and stuff like that we've sailed around.
Yeah.
And, things like that within a harbor.
And
you
I
know.
have no idea what I'm doing when I was doing that. It's just like what worked, basically, for me. I mean,
it's all
now
good.
I feel like I know a bit more of
Yeah.
the theory behind it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So we're excited to do a bunch of different things. But if you have some expertise, feel free to reach out and let us know what your opinion is on how best to learn and where to learn, and that
yeah.
sort of a thing. And if you have a boat, we'll come visit you. And but yeah, so we're looking at all these different adventures. You know, the hike up Picacho Peak that you guys saw right on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
Might go skydiving next week or something. We'll
Yep.
see if we can get away from puppy time to go
Yeah,
and do
we're
that.
here
but-
for watching him for another week, and then I
Yep.
think we'll be able to go off and do some camping trips
Yep.
and, you know, some stuff that we've been kind of itching to do a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think for us, the main thing, we mentioned it before, is for 4.5 years, or more than almost 5 now, we have off-roaded. And that was one part of our life before we left on the trip. The trip has been amazing, and for us, it's continuing. We're not settling back into our house
Mm-hmm.
or any house, but variety, that's what we missed. And so
Yeah.
for us, the bikes, the old FJ40, dirt bikes maybe, skydiving, sailing,
Mm-hmm.
scuba diving, free diving, whatever. I mean, for us, the variety is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
And
we've just
having
enjoyed.
less invested in one thing is the key to us being
Yeah.
able to do all of those things. So
Yeah.
if we could have kept Dusty and done all of those things, great. But
Yeah.
for us, we couldn't do that. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's selling Dusty has opened us up for all of that variety and opportunity.
Yeah.
And that if you see a cheap plane ticket to some place to go, and then we can capture it for you guys and share it. And hopefully you enjoy it. But I think right now for us, it's all about finding what are we going to be passionate about and love to do. Because I feel like if we're not loving it, I don't think that it's enjoyable for you guys to watch
Yeah,
if we're not
it
having a
shows
really
through,
good
yeah.
time. We know a lot of people who eventually over time are doing YouTube videos or some sort of social media for you. And it sort of comes through to me. I don't know if you get that sense, but sometimes you can tell people are just doing the thing that they know gets views. And when I get that sense in some of the channels we've watched,
Yep.
we tend to watch less and go, I just want to see them have fun. I don't really care what it is.
Yeah.
So hopefully some of you feel like that. We think that'll be a good thing for ourselves.
Yep.
And hopefully for you guys as well to just watch us having a good time.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
So-
We haven't figured out the scheme to YouTube yet, really.
no, but I think for us, not worrying about it too is the path for us. We've
About
always
the only
taken.
way we can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much time and too much work to do it
Any other way.
any other way. If you're doing it for others, then you better be making a ton of money
Yeah.
to make that worthwhile, to give
Yeah.
up some of your life just to do what you think others would like you to do. So for us, we got to find what we're passionate about and make sure we're having a good time. And the moment we're not, switch to something else.
Yep.
No need to dig our heels in and just be, well, overlanders as you know us, but now we'd like to do a lot more of the activities that we did before we started putting our lives online.
Yep.
So,
Totally. And we forgot to say cheers, but cheers.
cheers.
We're enjoying a beer, and hopefully you guys are getting ready for the weekend. And I think we're going to go riding bikes. It's been raining for a few days here, so I think the trails are finally dry enough that we can go ride again. So pretty excited about that, and hang out with Higgins. And that's about the only plans I have.
Yeah,
Look for trucks, hang out with Higgins. Look for dirt bikes, hang out with Higgins some more.
Sounds like a pretty good plan.
Eat, drink, sleep, hang out with Higgins.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
So we'll let you know. We'll update you, and hopefully have some unique adventures coming up. We've
Yeah.
got some things in the pipe, but until things happen, we'll just let you know
Everything is
once
in
they're
flux,
done.
yeah.
Yeah, everything is a possibility right now, and it's a bit hectic for us not having any base. Dusty, the truck, was our home base.
Yeah.
And then the house was our place that if everything fell apart, we could go back to. We've gotten rid of both of those, so it's a weird time for us for sure.
Yeah.
But it is good. It's good to have literally unlimited potential on things you can do.
Yeah. Sometimes I lose sight of that, and it's
Yeah.
very easy to feel overwhelmed by the choices, but I have to remind myself that the choices are exciting and they're good, but
Yeah.
sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming.
Absolute freedom can be terrifying.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but the flip side of that is exactly what you were thinking is
Yep.
that, wow, to know you can go anywhere on earth and do anything is pretty awesome.
Yep.
With a little bit of work thrown in there. Besides the videos, we need to do a little bit of work while we're here at home.
Yep.
So we'll be doing that as well. But we're super excited that we can pick as random of an adventure as we want.
Yep.
So,
So, anyways,
hope you enjoy.
Yep.
Hope you're having a good new year.
happy Friday if
Happy
this comes out on
2023.
Friday or Saturday.
By the way, we've continued, cheers, with our working out every day, doing
Yep.
something. So whether it's riding bikes, running, push-ups, sit-ups, plank, whatever you're doing, if you want to keep continuing with us, we'll just mention it for all of you to hopefully keep your motivation going.
Yep.
We've even started to do cold plunges because the pool at this house is freezing cold.
Terrible.
And so we're trying to even do that too. It's not quite as cold as ice
Ooh.
in a
It's rough.
tank, but it's pretty darn cold. So we're just trying to push ourselves. So
Yeah.
hopefully you are too, and enjoy.
Yep.
See you next time.
Thanks, guys.